about, so I wanted to make a video about buying tools, because as a teacher, I end up having a lot of students ask me questions about buying tools, like, you know, when they should be buying tools, how many tools they should buy, what tools they need to buy before they start at a program like ours. You know, starting off kind of with the diesel industry. So in the diesel industry, you know, the expectation in nearly every shop that you're going to work in is that you're going to need to have your own tools. And investment in tools can be quite a bit. And so back in the day, I would have said, like, you know, buying tools at Harbor Freight is not going to work. But the reality is that now Harbor Freight do have some tools that are decent, you know, and probably good enough to get you started and allow you to start making some money, and before you get into buying stuff like, you know, Snap-on, Matco, Mac, and Cornwell, which are going to be your four major industrial professional grade tools, tool manufacturers. But the question is not really about that, but more so like, how do you get started? So, you know, I've been working in the diesel industry for going on 20 years now. I started off in the military, you know, in 2001. I did 4 years as a heavy wheel mechanic stationed at Fort Lewis, you know, my whole time. Did one deployment to Iraq. And came back, you know, got out of the military and kind of worked as a military contractor for a while, and then moved over to the civilian sector. And kind of been in diesel, you know, pretty much my whole adult life. I haven't really done anything else. And so in that time, you know, I've worked at numerous different shops, you know, been laid off, rehired. You know, obviously, you know, I was working during 2008. Anybody who's around my age knows that 2008 was a very precarious time to be a skilled laborer. You know, most of whether you was a diesel mechanic or automotive mechanic, you know, or any other kind of worked in any kind of manual labor job or skilled labor job, you know, a lot of us had a really hard time holding on to our jobs. Yeah, I'm just rambling. So let me get to the point. Oh, well, I should say it because that actually has a reason why I'm going to say some of the stuff I say later on. Because when I buy tools nowadays, I don't just think about the tool and how I'm going to utilize it at the shop. I also think about it as an asset. And like, so can I sell this tool later on if I needed to? Like, if I decide to stop being a mechanic tomorrow, how marketable are my tools? You know, how much depreciation do I lose by buying the tools? Like, obviously, you know, if I buy a Snap-on tool, a toolbox, let's say, that costs me $8,000. The reality is, I'm not going to be able to sell that toolbox for $8,000. So, you know, the best I could probably hope to sell that toolbox for a couple of years from now is probably like, you know, $5,000 at the absolute highest, and even that's probably a bit of a push. Whereas if I buy like a box from Harbor Freight, the U.S. General box that's around the same size, maybe I pay $700 for it, and then, you know, I can probably sell it for like $300-400. So you have to kind of make your own decision about that. But what I highly recommend, you know, people coming into the industry do nowadays is probably start off buying high quality ratchets, high quality wrenches. And I'm going to do some reviews on the channel later on, you know, the difference in like a Snap-on wrench and a wrench from a place like Harbor Freight, and this maybe some of the middle grade stuff that you can find on Amazon, right? And so from that you'll be able to see kind of like the difference in the chrome quality, how the tool is going to hold up like over time. But I find nowadays that Amazon actually has like a fair amount of really, really good tool sets that you can get. So what I recommend people actually do is to find you one of the industrial or professional grade tool manufacturers. My personal favorite is Snap-on, so I'm just going to use Snap-on from here on in. But know that when I say Snap-on, you can replace it with Matco, Cornwell. It's just totally up to you. I don't see, it's not a huge, in my mind, it's not a huge variation in anything other than cost. And I buy Snap-on because I feel like if I'm going to pay something so close in cost to Snap-on, who's the industry leader, that I might as well just buy Snap-on. You know, the other ones are so close to Snap-on's price that I just go ahead and buy Snap-on. And that's just me personally. But I would highly recommend you start off by buying something like a Snap-on 3/8 ratchets. You know, so buy you a set, you know, 3/8 ratchets, buy you a 1/2 inch ratchet, buy you a 1/4 inch ratchet, right? I would buy all flexible heads. I wouldn't buy anything with a comfort grip to start off with. So because it's going to offer you a lot more flexibility. So let's say you buy you a 3/8 ratchet, flexible head, a 1/4 inch ratchet with a flexible head, and then a 1/2 inch ratchet with a flexible head. Those are the 3 ratchets I would start off with. You know, 90, like I think 92, I believe, like a 92 or better. I believe they have some better offers. I'm not 100% sure. And then I will probably go on Amazon and look for a socket set, like an Impact 3/8 socket set from Graves Pneumatic. And I'll actually post some of these things. It may not be Graves Pneumatic, but I'll post in the comments. I mean, not in the comments, in the description below. I will post some of the sets that I would get or that I own personally from Amazon that I think are really, really good. And the reason I tell you to do this is because you need tools to start to work. And these tools will work for you, especially as a diesel mechanic. You'll be shocked, and I think most diesel mechanics in particular, I can't go for automotive. I can't say for automotive because I don't work on a lot of cars. But I think most diesel mechanics would agree with me when I say this, that Impact 3/8 set comes in exponentially more handy than having all those sockets in chrome to start off with. Because the only time you really need a chrome socket is if you need clearance. So if you have an issue with the clearance of the thickness of the 3/8 sockets, and you won't actually that actually won't be a problem for you oftentimes in diesel because the components are just so much larger and we have so much room to work with normally. So you won't actually experience that problem. And for that reason, I tell people, get you a nice Impact 3/8 set. That'll allow you to do things like when you buy your electric impact tools, which is, I'm going to tell you, you don't want to buy pneumatic tools. You do not want to start off with pneumatic tools as a brand new technician. You want to buy electric tools because you will not probably have a bay that you work in every day, and every shop doesn't have universal pneumatic fittings, but every shop has a universal plug that you can plug your tools into and charge them. So I would definitely start off with electric tools, and electric tools are going to offer you the flexibility to take them on service calls and take them home to do any work that you have to do at home. So just the flexibility that you get with electric power, like electric tools, is far superior to that what you get with pneumatic tools. But like buying a 3/8 set of impact sockets is going to get you there. As far as wrenches go, you do want to invest in a high quality set of wrenches, but I'm going to give you this last little hint before I let you go. You can probably find most of those at the pawn shop. Yes, the pawn shop is most definitely your friend, and you definitely want to make sure that you are going to look in the pawn shop to find tools. And when I say wrenches, I mean, you can probably find a good set of Snap-on wrenches at the pawn shop if you go look around, or Cornwell, if you're willing to spend not a weekend, but spend a Saturday hopping around to a couple different pawn shops. And then again, like OfferUp and Craigslist as well. People just getting rid of tools, or mechanics who are retiring that are going ahead and selling off some of their tools. So but you definitely want to start off with a high quality set of wrenches. You can't really go with cheap wrenches. Cheap wrenches end up rounding off bolts, and they're just not a good look. So you don't want to buy good cheap wrenches to start off with, trust me. But again, ratchets and wrenches are what you want to spend good money on starting off with. Everything else, you just need some stuff to get you started. Sockets, I would not spend a lot of money on sockets to get started, because you can find a lot of quality sockets for not that much money. So I'll post some. I want to let you go because it's getting long. So I will post some links, and it's not affiliated links. It's not me making money off nothing. So I will post links to a bunch of different, socket sets in the description box of this video, and I hope this helps somebody, right? And also remember, if you're a student, Snap-on, and not just Snap-on in particular has a student excellence program for students, but mostly every tool manufacturer has a student discount. So you should definitely call and see if you can get the student discounts. The trucks that go to your shops probably won't, or they may not offer the student discount. So you probably won't be able to finance those tools for student discounts, but we'll talk about tool financing in a different video altogether. Hope this video helps. Have a good day. I'm not editing in this. Peace.